Hi guys, this is Swati. Welcome to my YouTube channel InterviewBuddies. I'm back with another very helpful and interesting video for all the job hunters out there. In this particular video, I'm going to share with you what is the most perfect answer to the interview question, what are your weaknesses? Before we kick off with the perfect answer to this question, just few lines around here. No weakness is a good weakness and no weakness is a bad weakness. A weakness is a weakness and everyone has a weakness. So quoting something like, I've improved completely on myself and now I don't have any weakness, or I can't recall of any weakness, is big no-no as an answer to this question. But there's a good way to quote your weakness. So whatever your weakness is, you can quote it in a very perfect way, in a very magical way, which I'm going to tell you in this upcoming video. Before we start with what a good weakness is or what a good way to quote a weakness is, let's first understand what not to quote as a weakness. A weakness is not a personality trait. So let's first discuss why a personality trait should not be quoted as a weakness of yours. Basically, in a job world, a weakness is something which can be worked on, which you can improve, which you can fix. And a personality trait is something which you just inherit naturally. That is a natural behavior of yours. So for an example, if you say, I'm impatient, that sounds like you are impatient all the time, and that is your natural behavior. So quoting this or giving this as an answer that you are impatient is not a good idea to give as a form of your weakness. And it's not a strength in disguise. And secondly, and more importantly, a weakness is not a strength in disguise. Nowadays, I've seen a lot of people using this example. They just try to get away with saying something like, I work too hard, or I'm a perfectionist as being a weakness, which is not correct. It's quite clear and quite transparent to the recruiter what you're trying to do when you're trying to say these words, when you are using these words. So I highly recommend not to use any of your strength in disguise as a weakness or as an answer to what are your weaknesses. So a weakness is an issue or a concern that occurs in a certain context that you have improved and continue to improve on. A good example of how you can quote or how you can present your weakness is, in situations where there is a deadline to be met, I tend to want things to be done quickly and efficiently. And in these situations, I tended to finish my task quickly and consistently update myself on my co-workers' status. This has made me appear to be impatient in front of others. So in this case, you are describing a situation. It shows that your weakness is subject to a particular situation and it doesn't happen, it doesn't occur on constant basis. So this is how you should put your weakness in front of your hiring managers. Also, once you are done with quoting your weaknesses in the correct way, you should also add by yourself that what you are doing or what you have been doing or what you have done or what you plan to do as a part of improvement in the way that you want to improve on these weaknesses. As a result, I have learned to be cognizant of this fact and no longer try to constantly update myself on what my co-workers are doing. Instead, I have implemented weekly meetings where everyone comes to the table with their updates, and that has led to greater efficiencies for everyone involved. Now, before wrapping this up, let me share with you 3 steps that would help you figure out your weaknesses the right way. Here are the 3 steps. Step 1 would be to brainstorm and make a list of your past and current concerns that you have about yourself. Moving on to step 2. Highlight the weaknesses that tend to occur only in a certain situation or context. It is not something that happens with you all the time. Last and the final step around this is pick one current and past weakness and start developing individual stories for each of these weaknesses. Also guys, just make sure that you are the best judge for yourself. You know the best about your weaknesses and your strengths. So I would really suggest that these pics of the weaknesses should be completely private to you and you should make them by yourself.